By the time I found out that she was up for adoption, she was dead set on, no, I need to just be realistic about my life and what my future holds.
That's when she came to me and she said, would you be interested in us adopting you? I didn't think that I would have a family again. I didn't think that I would go to college. I didn't think that I would have love. And with that, I just feel like my world is just so much brighter.
Of Angel's Garage. If you don't know who we are, we had season 1 a few years ago, and we were out at our shop. Mark, my husband here.
Hi, everybody.
We sit here and build cars for charities and stars, but we decided to do something from the studio, and we're going to offer something really different. We're going to talk to a lot of legends, a lot of car lovers, and a lot of people that just are interesting. And we wanted to thank our sponsors before we even start, to Wendy's, Haymaker Coffee, and the one and only mytraveltray.com. But
and Ford Gumballs. Don't forget Ford Gumballs.
Exactly. And see what just happened? Somebody's talking in my ear. I'm not used to it. I'm used to hearing drills and hammers. So we're going to just start this off with no further ado. This is Mr. RJ Mitte.
Thank you. Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you for being on the show.
We're really excited. So let's just start out. I want to start with your car.
Yeah.
Then we can talk about your wonderful career.
Yeah. I actually have a few cars at the moment. Yeah, I have a 1969 Cougar, which I love. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So
a
much
classic.
fun. Very much so. I've had it for a while. I'm the third owner. It has a 351 Cleveland, and it's run great.
Nice.
It may or may not have a muffler at the moment, but that by accident, not by choice,
Right.
for legal reasons. But it's a fun car. I also have a 1990 Z, 300ZX. Yeah, wow. And that's a fun one.
What's been done with that one? Tell us a little bit about that.
So that's a twin turbo. I actually just
twin turbos. We love twin turbos around here.
It's a beast.
Yeah.
But I just had it at the shop. So it was my father's car actually, and he had it for years and built it out, and it's got a lot of things in it that make it go fast, and so it hadn't ran. It's set in a barn for a minute, for a few years, and then set in the garage for a few years.
Yeah.
And recently I got it fixed for a day. For a day. But it's doing good. It's red. So it's a big old Target car.
It's got the Arrest Me red color.
It's got the Arrest Me red.
Yeah, you gotta have that, right?
And I actually have a school bus.
You have a school
I
bus?
have a school bus.
Cool.
I'm trying to I want to turn it into a lounge.
A lounge bus.
Like just kind of like a place where you could park it, and it's kind of like a chill little space.
Oh, that's cool. So like your own like mini RV chill space.
Yeah. See, I'm not.
What year is it?
It's a 90. It's a 94 Thompson. It's an international Thompson 3600.
Oh yeah.
And, yeah.
Does it have that thing?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you gotta load the door.
I gotta pull up. So I moved a lot. Like my whole life, I've always moved and always been one place and another, and I've had a lot of U-Hauls. And so I was moving a couple of years ago, and I was just like, I don't want to rent a U-Haul. I just don't.
Yeah.
It's just like. And I always look at Craigslist, right? I always look online and the things for like old cars and buses and trucks, because there's a lot on there.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm not gonna do this. And I looked and I found this bus, and I was like, it's mine.
I gotta have it.
I gotta have it.
Gotta have it. It's just cool.
It was cool and it worked out. And a funny story behind this is 10 years ago, I had a friend who was selling a school bus, probably even longer. and it was a Burning bus, and he would travel to Burning Man with it and all kinds of stuff. And he realized that he no longer wanted to be a man, and so he needed money to pay for his transition, and she was selling this bus, and she was like, I can't have it. I really want to, like, this was a long, like 10, 15 years ago, and so offered it to me at the time. And I was like, I don't really have any place for a bus. I live in Los Angeles in an apartment.
It's gonna take some storage. Yeah.
But now, fast forward 10 years later, it's the same bus.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Long story short, it turned out being full circle.
Wow.
And so I bought it. I moved we packed up our stuff using it. Didn't get a U-Haul. Didn't need one.
Didn't have the
Awesome.
bus.
Awesome.
Back to your 69. How
Yeah.
long have you had that?
Man, at least 8 years.
Oh, wow.
At least 8 years, and it's been a great car. Me and one of my friends rebuilt it. We put an MSD meter. That's what we had to change some parts out just because it was stuff. And we rebuilt the engine and sandblasted it. And on the engine block, actually, the guy did a little thing because I bought it in New Mexico. And I was filming Breaking Bad at the time.
Oh, wow.
And I bought this car.
Really?
And it was kind of like actually my first classic car. Because, like, I always wanted classic cars. And, like, yeah, my dad had the Z, and, like, we had other cars and stuff. But I was always a big fan of muscle cars. Like,
Yeah, dig it.
like, it was just, like, I just liked the seating. I liked, like, how it drives. I liked how it looked. Like, everything about it. And not just like the big bubbly ones, but like just that style, right?
Right.
And so a friend of mine was selling this. He had it parked for a while, selling the Cougar. And I was like, man, all right. He's like, do you want it? And I was like, yeah, I want it. And so I picked it up off of him. Had 2 owners. It was actually from Michigan.
Oh, wow. No kidding.
So originally, right now the Cougar is teal with a white top, a white interior, and black floorboard.
Oh, nice.
And originally, it was yellow. It was that bumblebee black and yellow.
Oh yeah.
Type color back, and then I actually they said and it all said that this car was teal. Like from the
factory.
From the paperwork that I got.
Marty report.
But because I did some work, right? I took the hood off and I took some parts off.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around the screw, you know, where they have like where some of the bolts connect.
Yeah.
And I found if you ever try to figure out what the original color of the car is, you look around like the base of the car where like it holds the whole car together, kind of.
Yep.
Because when you remove some of those pieces, they don't always paint that.
Right.
Very good.
And I looked at it, I'm like, that looks like yellow. I'm like, that's a yellow. This car ain't teal.
Yeah.
And but apparently.
So it's like doing the history and the homework on everything and getting it to find out where it came from. And yeah.
Well,
now, does your car have a name to it? Because a lot of people name their cars.
So I didn't name it. My mother named it Bertha.
And
And so that's kind of the name on it.
So we call her Blue Bertha, I guess. Huh?
Teal Bertha.
Teal Bertha.
There
we go.
Yeah.
And you said that's got the Cleveland motor in it and everything?
The 351.
Oh, man, that's just a great engine, huh?
And it sounds great. It's smooth. You know, it has power to it, but it's not like overpowered.
Yeah.
It's like, and what are you going to do in that? The modern cars these days, yes, that car has a lot of power.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about modern cars, the 0 to 100 is just very different.
Right.
Like you're not gonna. So like it's a fun cruiser. It feels great on the road, and you know it's one of those things that like I enjoy driving.
Yeah.
Like driving is something that like it doesn't have to be a point A to point B. Like it's a machine. It's like you're operating something. And so like I understand how people can like I get it, getting point A to point B, having a car that like gets you places.
Yeah.
But like you know, you can enjoy it.
Stirs the
Yeah.
soul inside
when you're
it,
driving
right?
you're driving like an older car or
Yeah.
like just a unique car, because now every car drives practically the same.
Right.
Like it's
Right.
not really like
Yeah.
and
Same
I'm-
basic shape, same basic designs. Yeah.
same engine, same
Right.
same like just like with older cars you actually felt the road, you know.
Right.
Like,
you were the driver. You were in touch with the road.
It was
Yeah.
you. Like
Yeah.
it's an extension, and like
Right.
with like cars like Tesla and other than they're great cars.
Yeah.
But like they're not connected to the
soul.
To the soul. People you don't feel the car because it doesn't have the pin. What is it? Stick and pin, or where your wheel's connected to your axle.
Pinion.
Rack
and pinion.
like rack and pin.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those cars are just like there's an empty space. It's a computer.
Right. Right.
So I just like having that rack and pin.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you, speaking of newer cars, did you drive that Dodge on Breaking Bad?
So funny story about that is I did drive it for about 30 seconds. What you saw is pretty much all that we drove. You know, it wasn't really like any external scenes of our driving. I drove the Aztec more in the show because I had a driving scene.
What an
with
ugly vehicle.
you know what though? It was a great car. Like I enjoyed it. I thought it was beautiful.
I'm sure you did.
But yeah, the Challenger, which they're amazing cars.
Yes.
And and it feels like a big old capsule. But literally it was pulling to the driveway. And then someone else me and Brian got out, someone else backed it back up to start, and then we got back in it there, and we drove into the spots, and
wow.
Movie magic.
Did you have fun?
I had a great time. You know, we were very lucky that with the show, Breaking Bad, when it first started, we didn't know how great it was going to be. We knew we had something special, but like, you just don't know.
Right, until you know, yeah,
until
exactly.
you know, until you're in it, and it's after, like, you know, and we loved what we were doing, you know. My favorite episode to this day will always be the pilot, and the experience I had on there, because it cultivated everything for us, and we had a great team. We had a cast and crew of 500.
Wow.
And it was just like one big massive family.
Yeah.
And you know, I spent 6 months out of the year for 7 years in New Mexico.
How hot was it?
You know, it's not that bad. It gets hot. But everywhere it gets hot.
Okay, we film in Victorville. Is it hotter than Victorville?
In some parts, probably the same.
It's probably the same.
So it's all high desert. You know, we're probably even higher than Victorville when it comes to it. So like our sun's a little different than there, and we have to worry about altitude sickness in New Mexico.
Oh wow.
So you have to drink a lot of water. If you've never been like there, like or higher altitudes. But we loved it, you know. And what made a lot of things special is the environment. You know, like the shows, like when you're doing something, like your environment creates even more, it amplifies everything that you're doing.
Yes.
And with Breaking Bad, New Mexico was that environment, and it just amplified the show, and it amplified like just the beauty of everything. And you know, Breaking Bad, we had a lot of cars. We had so many different varieties of from the RV to the Aztec to the Challengers and the Chryslers and that's actually what my sister wants, the Chrysler 300.
Yeah.
She don't need that. But you know, it was one of those things where what's cool about New Mexico is it's part of that Highway 66 line, and you know, we got a lot of 50s and those classics, but just a great environment, and we loved what we were doing.
That's awesome. I got somebody telling me what to do.
Okay.
I would like to thank our sponsors, and we're going to come right back after this.
We went to look for school clothes. And I remember just helping her put on different clothes, and she looked at me and she said, "Mommy, I never thought I would have clothes like this." You know, it's not about having clothes or money, but the fact that she was appreciative of it was what meant a lot to me.
Hannah, she had never had a play date with a friend, ever. She'd never had sleepovers, ever. For someone her age to wait that long to have to go.
To watch a kid who never knew what it meant to be safe at home to wanting to be home and be around people that love her. Almost as special as the big things is just the little things.
Angel's Garage, the podcast, is brought to you by My Travel Tray. Life on the go just got easier. And by Haymaker Coffee Company. Grab life by the beans. And by Ford Gum since 1913.
And we're back, and I want to thank Wendy's for a great lunch and sponsoring us, and for Haymaker Coffee for keeping us up and working on the 41 Ford pickup that we'll be talking about for the Dave Thomas Foundation. And I would like to thank mytraveltrade.com and Ford Gumballs for all coming along for the ride, and we hope you stick with us. And we're back with RJ. Let's pick it up. What do you got going on?
I'm actually in the middle of filming a project called Isaac. We've shot most of it, but during the pandemic, right before we were supposed to do pickups, and of course,
for me that I don't know anything about Hollywood, what is a pickup?
So a pickup is nearly where you're doing a project, you have scenes, and you're in the middle of a scene, and then you don't get to finish the scene. And then what you got to do is you got to pick it up later.
Okay.
And so we've shot a bunch of it. I'd probably say we shot half of the film, and we were supposed to go back, finish it 2 weeks later, and then kind of everything shut down. And we shot some more of it a couple of months ago. And now we are supposed to shoot this week, and hopefully by next year it will be done, and we will be out there. And
awesome.
It's a unique film with some great talented people and very avant-garde type project. Very cerebral. It's kind of like a horror movie, but it's not really a horror movie.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah, it's got dark tones. I play a mortician.
Oh, wow.
So who's a little off. But very excited to see how it turns out. You know, the story actually is still kind of evolving with the project, just because it's one of those types of projects where when you go into it, it could be one thing or it could be another thing. So you don't. So as you're doing the scenes, the subtleties and kind of working together really creates a story behind it.
Oh wow!
And so that's a lot more work.
Yeah, it sounds like it. There's a lot more that goes into that than what I was aware of. Wow.
But then I have another movie called The Oak Room, which is out. It's on VOD, and that's a psychological thriller as well. But it's Canadian based. We shot in Canada. It's a Black Fawn film, and they do like kind of horror, but like very unique and colorful and like in depth horror genre projects. And did that, and that's out now. And I have a project called Triumph, where we just had theater release for a limited time, and we're about to go into our VOD. Still waiting on a date for that.
That's wonderful.
But part of the film. So the film is actually about a gentleman with cerebral palsy, and it's based on a real person that wrote this story. Named Michael Coffey, and he has cerebral palsy. And you know, in the 80s, disability was viewed very differently, and kind of what you're capable of and what you can or can't do was
labeled upon
labeled. And we know that that's just a stigma. That's not accurate. Anyone can achieve anything they want.
That's what we love to hear. That's an important lesson for life.
Yeah, no, but people forget that.
Yeah.
But so this story is his journey if he got the opportunity and didn't accept like what people placed upon him, but create that dream, and we were very lucky to do that. We have like Colton Haynes, Grace Victoria Cox, and it's a unique journey, and we're very happy that we're able. I've been working on it for like 7 years now.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
And it's independent films are labor of love. Like and it's very to this film it's definitely important to me, and through working on this, we're able to link it to a charity, United Cerebral Palsy.
Oh,
And,
fantastic!
and they're a great organization, and we gave percentage on the back end to them, and
Really doing your part to help out.
Yeah, well,
that's great.
Creating that revenue, and I mean it's a small amount, and hopefully the movie does well, and
Right.
and it brings it in, but it's something that's unique and special, and we really believed in. So.
That's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
always good when work benefits.
Yeah.
When the labor
Yes.
of love can help people out.
Yeah.
Boy, it makes it special. It really
Well,
does.
I find there's so many opportunities, and like y'all, where you can have impacts.
Exactly.
And you don't have to go out of your way to do it.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
it's part of it, and people don't always see it that way. And so I'm very lucky that I have that. I see the need and the
Yes.
ability to provide for that need.
Right.
And we understand that.
Yeah.
We're going to be having you back with your mom, and I'm looking forward to that. Because we donated, every year we donate to a foundation, and this year happens to be the Dave Thomas Foundation. And we're going to share information about that in our build on the 1941 Ford pickup. And you have a foundation.
I do. So I work with many foundations over the years, but my grandfather created a foundation called the Roy Frank and Joan Colmitty Foundation, and we're a private family foundation based in Austin, Texas, and work in central and rural Texas. And at the moment, we're doing some work in a town called Brownsville.
Okay.
I actually moved there 2 years ago, a year ago, to be able to make sure that the project is moving forward.
How do you like it in a small town?
I love it. It's not a small town. It's a small town, but it has a lot of big things happening, and we have organizations like SpaceX, and we share a border with Mexico. We're literally sister cities to a town called Monterrey, and Matamoros. We share. We're neighbors. Like literally, like a block from my house is Matamoros, Mexico.
Oh wow!
And great time. South Padre Island, and we're doing a community development project there.
Oh, nice.
So it's going really well. It's going really well, but we're phase like 2-3 of a 5-phase project, and it's moving forward, and we're very excited to do it and have it there.
Right.
That's really good. That's awesome. Do you ever go to car shows?
I do. So I haven't been to I've been to the LA car show. I've been to the Dallas car show. I've been to a couple in New York. I did a lot more car shows in Texas.
Oh, okay.
But the most recent car show I went to wasn't really a car show, but it was a car show nonetheless. At the farmers market down in Brownsville.
Oh,
we have a bunch of
That's
a bunch of cool cars that pull up, and
that's cool.
and yeah, but I enjoy it. Machines are amazing to me. It could be any machine. If there is nothing, if it has an engine, I could probably drive it.
It's cool. That's right.
Probably.
That's right.
Yeah.
You two share the magnet idea. I
Oh
believe.
Yeah. I'm a firm believer of that. Yeah.
No,
I think that's going to be a way of the future.
I think so too. You know what's really amazing is if you look at Mercedes with the hydrogen engine or the air compressor engines, and then you have BMW with like the water
The separator for the hydrogen.
Yeah.
To run off of hydrogen. Yeah,
it's
exactly.
amazing. Like the future of cars when it comes down to when we're able to adapt the power to it and you utilize these types of technologies in a public setting.
Right.
And I'm very excited for the future of cars. I'm very excited to see all the drone technology, and I really want to make an air bike.
Oh.
So I have this idea. I want to share with y'all. It's the first time I talked about
this is
it.
good.
Uh-oh,
being
we got the
recorded.
exclusive.
Got the exclusive. So I would like to make an adapter kit for motorcycles. But it would be a drone adapter kit for motorcycles. So initially you would reroute the wheels and put it on a gyroscope with initially propellers and some jet stabilizers, and then you got a flying motorcycle.
Okay,
That's a really awesome idea. That really is, like the drone technology for for bikes.
Well, to me, it's all about adaptivity. Like when, like initially, like we're gonna have these classic cars, and they're gonna want people to put all modification on like AI technology in them. That's like the next step is like how do we make the car smarter, and get that data. Right. And
see, I'm the belief I'd rather make the car stupider so that I can stay in control.
See, I prefer that. I like a basic car, but I mean the technology, like when you're talking about like the magnets, and you're talking about like self-propulsion vehicles, like you really, to me, change everything about our environment. And like and I love petroleum based like cars. Like I love my cars. Like I love my thing, but like I really think there's eventually going to be like an easier solution when it comes to how we fuel our cars.
Sure.
So and I'm excited.
As long as there's a conversion that can help just keep that engine though. It's what we go back to is when you don't get the feel, you don't hear the rumble, you don't feel it through the body.
You got to feel the soul of the vehicle.
So luckily I'm a lot older than you, and by the time that happens, I'll be gone.
No, you won't. You're gonna see. You're gonna live to see it.
Oh my! Do you like the electric? Have you rode in anything electric?
I don't. I like. I have a couple of friends with Teslas.
Okay.
See, I like my truck. I like my bus. I like my Cougar. I like
Roar of the Thunder.
Yeah, the Roar of the Thunder. Electric cars are great. Like I think they're really cool, but they just don't feel the same.
No, you can't even hear them.
That's what scares me. It scares me.
Is this thing even on?
No. But it's what I really like to see, and what I've been watching a lot of is people taking the batteries and the engines and converting them into other cars.
Oh
yes.
And that's pretty astonishing.
Yeah, we've talked about that with there was a 67 that they put the electric into that car.
Right. Yeah. An all electric motor in it and everything. Yeah.
So what's your favorite Hollywood car?
My favorite Hollywood car. Ooh, Gone in 60 Seconds. The
original
the Mustang.
or the remake?
Well, I like the original, but the remake with Nicolas Cage.
Okay.
The
Eleanor?
The Eleanor.
Okay.
The Eleanor. And I saw it for sale. Someone bought it like a couple of years ago, and it went for like $500,000.
Would you pay for that car for that money?
No, I'd build it.
You'd build it. There you go.
There you go.
True car guy.
You could pretty much build it for scratch for like $65.
Right.
Like, I mean, not taking the value off of like that car, like movie wise, like is like
iconic.
Yes.
Like, and not everyone can build that car.
Exactly.
But like, I mean, all said and done.
But you can get pretty close.
You can
get
if you can
do some of the work yourself and you save a little bit here and there.
Not even that. Just in general, Mustangs are very universal. Like many different cars, they have that type of like just the utility version where you can pretty much get. I mean, like cosmetically, you're gonna.
Yes.
But yeah, the Eleanor, and then I was a big Fast and the Furious. Remember the old muscle car? I forget what it was.
The Charger.
The Charger,
yeah. The Charger, the black one.
With the had the air
on the gas. She goes, wow.
Yeah, that was kind of like I think those two cars were really great when it came to the general audience getting into cars.
Right.
Like those were staple cars, and like they're like they'll be iconic forever when it comes to just the genre of car movies, Well,
RJ, it was a pleasure having you on. How does people get in touch with you? Follow you?
RJ Mitte. That's on social medias, on platforms. You look up RJ Mitte, you find me there. Little blue check mark,
awesome.
Little thing.
Hi.
Yeah,
Come
please. That's what I say hello.
All right.
Verified.
And here we go to Mr. Mark. He gets to talk 1 minute a week.
Don't forget, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Don't throw out those cardboard boxes. We're going to show you how to put them to good use.
And if he's not good, he'll be living in the box. Let's have a great day. Talk to you soon.
What we're going to be working on today is a 1941 Ford F100 pickup truck. Today it needs a lot of metal work, so we're going to show you Mark's Minutes, and we're going to show you how to save those cardboard boxes and you put them to good use. First, you want to make sure that you save up enough cardboard to do your job. You can see there's a lot of metal work here, so save a lot. You're going to take your pieces and you're going to get them somewhere pretty close, and you're going to get it into the area so that you can work with it. Okay, next you're going to trace out pretty close to the area that you want, and you're going to start bending it and forming it into place. And that's going to give you an outline of something close to the piece of metal that you're going to need. So you're going to take that, and then you're going to transfer it over to a piece of metal, trace it, cut it, and do the same thing. Start forming it, and that's going to give you your piece of metal and save you a lot of metal in the process and a lot of money in the process. And that's how you build on a budget here on Mark's Minutes.
By the time I found out that she was up for adoption, she was dead set on, no, I need to just be realistic about my life and what my future holds.
That's when she came to me and she said, would you be interested in us adopting you? I didn't think that I would have a family again. I didn't think that I would go to college. I didn't think that I would have love. And with that, I just feel like my world is just so much brighter.